My name is Kevin Saunders, and I own KGS Studios. While I currently create grand-scale fine art portraits for a new Gilded Age, I created a photograph in 2012 that is in the running for the most expensive photograph in the world. I have a number of reasons why I feel this is the one for our age, but first, let me give you some background. I've done many things, but in 2007, I started a photography studio to supplement my exotic custom bicycle business. I learned large format product photography with film, and I figured out the process of creating perfect ultra high resolution images. In contemporary art, they call this hyperrealism. By 2011, I had perfected grand-scale composite images and went all over the country creating massive photographs of cities and big buildings in places like New York City, Chicago, Cleveland, Dallas, and many other communities. San Antonio has a skyline that looks totally different from the north side versus the south side, and one day in 2012, I was up on an abandoned grain elevator called Big Tex, creating a big composite photograph of the south side skyline. When I was finished with that image set, I turned and started to go back down through the grain elevator, and out of the corner of my eye, I noticed the railroad tracks. The lighting angle and the composition was interesting, and since the grain elevator was being transformed into a centerpiece of an apartment complex, I knew this was the last time I would ever have the opportunity to create this particular image. I had only one place to set up the tripod holding my big digital view camera, so I composed the shot and captured it. Months later, I found the time to look at the image again, and a few artists saw it and exclaimed to me that this image would compete favorably with Rhine 2, a photograph by Andreas Gursky that had the title of Most Expensive Photograph in the World from 1999 through that present time and on to 2014. I was encouraged, and I developed the image artistically in subtle ways and created 25 test prints to bring out just enough of the shadows but keep the overall contrast. The composition was telling a story, and the more I looked at it, and the more others did so as well, the story emerged. The railroad is what allowed the central part of the United States to become populated, both from the Midwest to the West Coast. The two railways met at Promontory Summit, Utah in 1869, and as they say, the rest is history. The flat cars were key to the population of the country, as they could transport anything that could fit on them. The flat cars shown in my photograph were the original trailer train cars and had long since been replaced by more modern rail cars. The story of the image was twofold. The railroads built this country, but the state of the tracks and the rail cars shown in my photograph illustrated the hubris and state of disrepair of our country today. Our infrastructure is not unlike the vision shown in my photograph, and it will take many years to rebuild this country to the state that it once was. I decided to create a limited edition collection of 2 images, plus an artist proof. I printed the number 1 of 2 image at a size of 98 by 60 inches on my Fine Art Giclée canvas printer, a state-of-the-art 12-color printer. I had my custom frame maker build a frame, and I mounted the canvas on Dibond composite material. By 2016, I had enough opinions of art critics to start marketing the image for the most expensive photograph in the world, as I was aware of the latest entry by Peter Lik, and I knew that my approach would be more appropriate for this worthy title. The collector who acquires HTTX 97442 will be in the history books, and I will work with them to build value in this edition, plus the number 2 of 2 copy. It's in both of our best interest to tell this story of the image and its story of America and her journey. Thank you for taking the time to look at this fascinating image with its amazing story. It will be debuted on the international stage at the Big Boys Toys Las Vegas exhibition, and I invite you to come see it beforehand in my San Antonio studio or see it in person at the exhibition.